Who I believe to be the true birthers of choosing beggars, it's entitled parents. Our first one is from Carl the Well Endowed. Last night, when I went to sign in to open Netflix, I found that my TV had been signed out. Went to sign back in and could not do it. It had been about a year since I last signed in, so I assumed I just forgot my password and requested to reset it. When I went to my email, I saw an email from Netflix this morning saying my password had been successfully changed. Obviously, red flag. So I went through all of our subscription services and updated passwords, and changed my email password just in case. Got a call from my brother's ex-wife, let's call her Kate, about an hour ago. They've been divorced for over 4 years now, asking me why I changed my password. I didn't realize that she still had my account info, was a bit annoyed, and told her that someone had changed the password on me, and that I didn't feel comfortable giving out my account info, especially not to someone I was not in contact with. Jumping back a bit, my in-laws are staying at our home, and at night, after everyone goes to bed, I guess we have 4 devices in our home running our Netflix account simultaneously. When she called, Kate explained how she tried to get onto our account on Christmas night and was greeted with the message that there were too many users on our account currently, so she could not access it. She got the idea that it would be totally fine with me if she logged into our Netflix account and changed the password so that her and her new husband could watch their show. Said this calmly like it was the most reasonable thing in the world. I nearly lost it. I have no idea how anyone would think it would be okay to change someone else's password because you're too cheap to pay for it yourself. I told her I don't want to hear from her anymore and I am not giving her our info and hung up. 15 minutes ago, she called my wife and asked for the Disney Plus password. I was lazy and had the same account info for each streaming service, so apparently she figured this out and was able to log in to several of our services. When I realized who my wife was talking to and what about, I motioned for the phone. Kate was just whining that she at least needed to have access to Disney Plus so her son, who is 18 months old, could watch Bluey, and that he just needed it to be able to get ready for bed. I told her to fuck off and hung up. Great way to ruin my mood for the night. The entitlement on this person, I mean honestly, I don't understand why she's so cheap and can't get her own Netflix or even Disney Plus, why she needs to mooch off of other people that she clearly doesn't have contact with outside of just trying to collect their passwords. Way to stand your ground and not give in. This next one is by Chuckles Hadster. Hi Reddit, got another story about my mom to share. This one happened about 14 years ago now. I, then a 21 male, and my wife, then 21 female, were happy to announce that we were expecting our first child. We had been trying for a while, and had been told by the wife's doctor that she had some complications that would make it very difficult for her to conceive. I don't remember what the issue was, but it wasn't impossible, just difficult. We had basically given up on trying. We were just enjoying our lives together and having the back burner hope that it might happen one day. And it did. We were both overjoyed and terrified. Nothing is as real as finding out that you are expecting child number 1, and it can be a lot to take in at once. Everyone is excited, congrats all around. My parents' first grandchild, etc. My dad was probably the most wholesome I had ever seen or heard him be when we told him the news. My mom was over the moon too, at first. After the first couple of months, we started really trying to hunt down names. We had already considered and rejected the idea of naming our son after really any family member. We just weren't interested in that. We both subscribed to the idea that the sound of a name is important. Your name is the very first impression people will have of you, before even looking in your eyes. They can already have an opinion of you, and we wanted it to be a good one. I won't give details of what name we chose or what names we rejected. I'm not trying to bash on anyone's name, and I think, now, that actions are much more important than how a name sounds. When we told the families what we had decided to name him, one person took umbrage with our choice. Of course, my mom. According to my mother, at least one person in each generation needs to have the name. "It's the family name," she practically wailed at me when I wouldn't budge. "It's the same name I gave you." For the record, I do not like my first name, and I am never called by it. I'm mostly called by nicknames or my last name, never my first. I don't hate it, I just don't feel like it suits me or my personality. It is not a silly or archaic name, just not for me. It turned into quite a thing. I really can't remember all that she said, but suffice to say, we were the biggest traitors to the family, and we were tearing down tradition. She blamed my wife, saying that she had brainwashed me into it and all that. I was the one who came up with the name we wound up going for with him. Well, I talked to my grandma, and she said that the name wasn't really the name. It was her husband's name, and she named one of her sons the same. My mom named me with it and decided it was tradition. We had several months of no contact after that because, frankly, we didn't want to deal with her BS. More stories to follow later. Ciao for now. I'm of the belief that a family tradition is literally something that goes down several generations, goes back several generations. I'm sorry that your mom only seemed to be joyful in the beginning, but that seemed to cease once she could not name your child. I don't understand the people that don't accept the wishes of other people, especially when it comes to a child that doesn't even belong to that specific person that is giving their opinion. And our final one is from JLaw118. Seriously struggling at the minute. Me and my girlfriend have a baby on the way, with not much time to go before he's due. Mom's first grandchild, and I appreciate she's super excited, but she's being too controlling and overprotective. Quite early on, she was just bombarding us with names that either myself or girlfriend didn't like. She took offense to it and started accusing my girlfriend of being too fussy and controlling, not giving me a choice. For me, a lot of these names were associated with people I've met in life and had bad experiences with, and my girlfriend works in a nursery and had seen many kids over the years with most of the names who have either been dirty and not looked after properly, or really naughty children that she didn't want to associate with naming her own child, which I'm completely fine with. She eventually calmed this down, until recently. I had a Christmas present for my girlfriend delivered to my mom's as nobody would be at my home. She decided to wrap it up and write a label on it as being from Bump, which I politely asked her not to do as I didn't like it. I said it's a nice thought, but it's different next year when he's born, but not whilst he's still cooking away. Mom threw a big stroop over it, accused me of being selfish and ungrateful, all the names under the sun basically. And for what? Me saying I didn't like a Christmas tag? Then over Christmas period, we've both agreed on a name that we both really like. Mom's decided she hates it, and is since bombarding us with new name suggestions, trying to deter us away from it. I don't know if the post makes me sound petty, but it's becoming so stressful for my end and my girlfriend. It's our baby, and my mom's behaving like it's hers. She wants to pick the name. It's everyone's fault if we don't like the name she suggests. World War III for liking a name she doesn't. Both my grandma and stepdad even think she's being controlling and acting like the baby is hers, but if either of them say anything to her, she'll just shut them both down and kick off. My grandma fears for the baby's safety in my mom's hands. She just seems really unstable. My grandma has dementia, and mom won't even care for her or visit unless my stepdad forces her to. Her number one focus is baby, and it's getting too much. She's behaving stupidly entitled. What is with all of these parents that seem to want complete control over their grandchild, as if it is their direct child? It makes no logical sense to me. I understand people get happy, people might want things a specific way. However, at the end of the day, unless it's your child directly, you really aren't going to have any specific say. Alright, that's enough entitlement for the day. Well, that wraps up this episode of Entitled Parents. If you liked the video, please drop a like, share my content on all of your social media, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell so you're notified every time I upload, and drop a comment down below. It really helps with the algorithm and helps new people find my channel. Thanks for watching, thanks to my patrons, have a great day and stay safe out there.